An example is an office LAN allow all computer in the building to share a printer and a files. So what we are trying to see as part of MIS responsibility, the MIS can create a LAN in an organization, local area network that will cover almost every office in that organization. So that will allow the MIS to share information to their principals or any other person that is supposed to have that information without taking it in hard copy or in a flash to the personnel or any other person that may need that information. So in an organization, you need to have a local area network. And that local area network will now be used in sharing your information systems. So now you can share a printer and you can also share a files to other offices. So for you to be able to do that, you need some devices that will allow you to have this communication. Like now, you need to have a LAN, each and every office must have a computer, and also a LAN that are used for sharing informations. So sorry, class. What I am trying to say is that we have, for you to be able to get a LAN in every office, you as an MIS, you need some certain tools and devices that would allow you to create that local communication. So now, for example, you may need to have, each and every office must have a computer system. And also, a cable will now pass to each and every office. Then you need to have a switch that will allow you to connect those systems, either in a Bose topology, either in a star topology, or any other topology used in disseminating information in the internet. So now when you have those devices and cables were terminated and connected to each and every system, the organization now can be able to share the printers so that you may have a central printer where all the communication will be sent for printing via that network cable, and also sharing of files across the offices. Then number 2 here, we have telecommunication. Transmission of data over media like cable and wireless signals. Number 1 example that I gave is LAN, local area network. You can be able to transmit signal via this local area network or fiber optic cable from one office to another. And you can also use wireless fidelity in sharing internet services to each and every office. So as an AMS, management information system, you have to provide such devices that can allow you to share this information via internet, so that people can be able to get the information. So on this, we have transmission of data over media like cable. We have the network cable that is either shielded or unshielded twisted pair cable. We also have the fiber optic cable. These are some of the cables that were used in communicating or share information via internet. So using Wi-Fi to connect your laptop to the internet for browsing and email is part of telecommunication. So for you to be able to do that in your organization, you need to provide a means of getting that internet services or wireless signals. That is where you are going to use an access point to each and every offices, and those access points could be either via a fiber optic cable, local area network cable, or using a radio, an access point using point-to-point communication. So you can share information over the internet by using either a fiber optic cable or a twisted pair cable or an access point that can be fixed or put in every building so that they should be communicating with the MIS by transmitting wireless signals across the campus. We also have voice over internet protocols. Voice communication over internet. If you look at it, I gave an example of making a call to an app like Skype instead of using traditional phone line. Voice over the internet, an example of it we have, you can be able to, you make a call with a WhatsApp, with a Skype, and other things. These are also part of voice over the internet. And we also have wireless communication. So data transfer using wireless method like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Apart from the general communication that encompasses both wired and wireless dissemination of information, we have this wireless communication. That is by using a wireless fidelity. And an example of it is for an organization to get point-to-point communication. That is by using an access point or a router in an organization to be able to share a wireless signals across the organization or the campuses. So sending a file from your smartphone to a friend phone is via Bluetooth. Bluetooth is also a way of wireless communication using a short range of sharing that information. So you can either in a wireless communication, it's something that you have to use a wired in terms of trying to disseminate or send information to the other. Then you now use a wireless fidelity or a Bluetooth in an organization. So for you to be able to use a wireless signal, then you need to have a router or some of an access point that can be used to broadcast signals across an organization. Then next, we have cloud computing. So by definition, I said that delivery of computing service like storage and software over the internet. I use Google Drive to store and access files online without needing to save them on your computer. That is why an organization used to host their website over the internet. Like the university website is now hosted at Google Cloud, meaning that our storage are there. We don't need to have a local server in our organization that is managing us. We are saving our information there. The information were there on the cloud store, and it can be accessed online without needing to save them on your computer. Now, whatever we have said, now if you want to access our university portal, you just go connect your system with the internet or your phone with the system with the internet. Then you now type our domain name, which is www.nsuk.edu.ng. By pressing enter, it will now bring you to a homepage of the Nasarawa State University, KP, and there you will register your course, pay your school fees. All those information were saved on the cloud. At your home, you can be able to do everything and click on save or submit. That will make the system now to save all your information on the cloud, and you can be able to retrieve them whenever you want. And also the MIS can be able to generate a report for an organization based on the transaction that was taking place at the portal. So that is the issue of cloud computing. It's something that it has to be put in on top of internet, that people can be able to access it, and it can remain there without putting it in your computer locally. For MIS, at any time, if they want to get a report for decision making in that organization, they can be able to go over their portal and generate a report of the payment, either the total number of students registered on the portal or the school fees paid by the student. All can be generated from the MIS for management decision making. Then what had the benefit of MIS there? Now it says scalability, cost efficiency, and accessibility. A small business uses Dropbox to get their information, to store and share files with remote employees. So now when you look at it now, what we are trying to say is that I gave an example in our previous class that if you are dealing with your system locally to create information and save them, then you have to look for where you can save that information online to avoid cracking of the system, or maybe the system will be hijacked by ransomware attack or any other attack that may attract people, that people may demand something from you, either an issue of paying them before they will allow you to do this. So for now, if you are using your system locally, you can go ahead and save your information on your Dropbox that is online. When you do that, you will now have you can now have a complete control that whenever your system was hacked, you can be able to generate it without any suffering on it, or without missing anything. And that is the essence of this using a Dropbox. But if you are not using, if it is something that you have uploaded it into the cloud, then automatically your everything is on the cloud. So you can be able to get a backup in your organization by saving some of the things. So, but in some organization, they used to host their website in their domain. They have everything. Given an example of APU Zaria was trying to do that. So they used to host even other people's website there, and they are managing it on the cloud. So then they are the one to be suffering in terms of protecting those information. You here, what you should do is to make sure that at your end, you didn't allow other people to go into the portal without knowing, or without taking measure to prevent it. So now, types of cloud service. We have infrastructure as a service, and we have this thing, let me remember. I'm coming, let me check it full minute. I thought we have enterprises as a service that were used to If we are talking of software as a service, enterprise as a service, when you are talking of infrastructure as a service, that means that all the hosting company, they are the one to provide all the infrastructure that will be used to solve your, to host your data or something of that nature. We also have software as a service. That means there you are providing only software service to the end users. Then we have PaaS as a service provider, executive environment applications as a services to an organization. These are some of the types of cloud service we have in the Google Cloud. Then we also have something like Internet of Things. So Internet of Things, meaning network of device with sensors connected to the internet to exchange data. Let me give you an example of this Internet of Things. In your house, you may have air condition, you may have refrigerator, you may have laptop, you may have bulbs in your house. Using Internet of Things, you can be able to connect those devices or equipment in your house by controlling them with a single remote. With a single remote on your hand. You can, as well, when you are sitting on your bed comfortably, you can take your remote and on your light. You can take your remote and on your air conditioner. You can take your remote and on your fan by using that Arduino board to connect those devices. So a smart thermostat adjusts the temperature in your home based on your preferences and usage patterns. All this can be, when you get a Arduino board that may be able to control these devices, you can now configure it, write a program, push it to the device, and the device will now be under your control as you wish. It's based on how you want to control the devices or anything in your house by yourself without making any other person interfering on it. So on this note, you can be able to get a data collection, then you automate it and analyze it. That is the role of MIS. What and what do you need? That is why you have to sit down and write a schema that this is how I want my device to behave. You have to collect data. After collect data, you now automate those data. That is by using write a program, push the program into the Arduino board, and now be using it. Then you can use it for analysis. So an example is using a fitness tracker to collect data on daily activities and monitor health trend can be used with Internet of Things in your house, in your organization, or anywhere you find yourself that may need that service. So now we are going to artificial intelligence. Machine simulation, human intelligence, processes like a learning and problem solving. Virtual assistants like Siri or Alexa providing answer to questions or controlling smart home devices. When we talk of an artificial intelligence, it's just an artificial brain, a system that can be able to think and make a decision like a human being. A system that can mimic a human being, make a decision, and execute that decision. That is artificial intelligence. You know, you need to have something that will mimic or or make a decision to do something before you will have a robot that you can push those decisions to it so that he should act it, it should make it visible and work as based on what has been put into his brain. So now in an artificial intelligence, we're talking of, we are mimicking human brain to make it to think and even make a decision. That is an artificial intelligence. If you can be able to write a program, this is how you did the program want it to behave, then you now push that program to a robot so that that robot will function exactly the way you want it based on how you wrote the program. What are the applications of MIS on it? Predictive analysis, automation, and natural language process. To give you an example of this thing, you know, when you are using artificial intelligence or a robot, the robot, you can make it in such a way that it can be able to bring back old event. As he can be able to hold past event. And whenever you come as a human being, giving an example, if you come to my office today, and maybe we'll have a discussion about an important things that maybe that we're going to do between me and you. And maybe this is my first time of coming to you. I register myself with my name, with everything to you. I explain myself to you, give you my name, where I am working, and what brought me to you. This is what I want me and you to do. Then you as an officer, maybe you may think that you may have other people who will be coming apart from me in many days. So later, after 1 month, I came back to you again. So what should I do to remember you that this is me, the social person that came last month for social issue? Is first of all to reintroduce myself that this is my name, this is this and that. From there, my memory will now recall that, yes, we have done something like that in social month, this and that. In a robotic system, this neural something is there in the computer, in the robotic something that can be able to memorize what is being discussed maybe earlier in some month or days, and continue from where you stop. I gave an example that online store uses AI to recommend product based on customer browsing history. If you look at it now, what I was trying to say that a customer has been coming to the internet, to our portal, doing this, doing that, looking for this, looking for that, looking for this. Now, the robot that is being used there at that store can be able to look at, based on what preference that the customer used to look at on their store, he can be able to make a recommendation on what product that customer like this or something of that nature. Then we also have big data. Big data, by definition, is a large volume of structured and unstructured data analyzed for insight. For example, social media platform, analyzing users' posts and interaction to understand trends and preferences. You know, a social media platform, either a WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, and any other social platform, has a huge amount of structured and unstructured data. Structured in such a way that you may come across in a social media where a table is there representing something, and That's something that is being represented, is being tabular, is being in table, in a structure that people can easily understand. And there are some things that people used to just be creating on their WhatsApp or Facebook, this thing anyhow without structured. So all these things are there. Then you can be, there are times that you can just go to the internet if you want to research for something, for a very important thing that maybe you are thinking, you have been seeing so many people have been discussing such things that you are trying to make a research on it on the social media platform. Now you can be able to go to social media platform or Google and search for huge amount of information there. So those huge amount of information can be, you can have it in a structure that is in a table or in a manner that can be easily understandable, or you can have them haphazard that it is you that you come and sit down, try to rearrange, structure the data and make it usable for yourself in terms of any research that you are being made. So in this big data analysis, there are big data analysis, there are so many softwares that we are used to create and analyze big data. So some of the softwares are there. There is a Google something I forgot that is there in the internet that you can use and you can easily use in your system, like TypeView and other software used for trying to analyze big data. So the importance in MI is that data-driven decision-making, real-time analysis, enhanced customer insight. Streaming service use big data to recommend movies and show based on view habit of the people. All these things can be generated using big data analytics on the Google or any other social media platform that you can be able to get what people most like in their, or the behaviors of people, or so many things that may be the interest of people in something. We can be able to do that. So the importance of AMIS there is an issue of information. Then how can you view those information? So there is normal information, you can get them structured in your system, and there are information that you are from the big data, this thing that you have to go over the internet, employ the use of so many softwares to be able to generate such information, structure them, and make use of them for your organization. Now, we also have future trend and technologies. So future trends and technologies, we talk about edge computing. So processing data closer to the source of data generation. I gave an example, a security camera process video data on the device itself instead of sending it to all the cloud, reducing delay. Now, when you have given an example of this CCTV camera, a security camera, you can be able to fix a security camera in your office or in an organization. And the security camera is getting information, the data, everything of people that are passing through, and that you can view it there within the organization without even going to cloud to get the information. If anything happens in your organization, you can just look at the camera, go to the hard drive of the camera, check it, and just look at what time this thing happened. Then you go there, get the video of that event, and make a decision on it without even going to the cloud. So edge computing, we give an example of processing data closer to the source of data generation. Because now your CCTV camera is in your office with your laptop, with everything. You can now process those data. What the camera has captured, you can be able to download them structure them, pass them for decision making to that organization. If there is any stealing in that organization, and I will hope that maybe the camera has captured it, then you can be able to go to the camera, check it, the date and the time, follow it, download the video, structure it, and then pass it to the management for decision making. We also have 5G network, faster speed, lower latency, and more connected devices. So, you know, we are in a networking system or network technology. We have second generation, we have third generation, we have fourth generation, and we also have fifth generation. So from the beginning of the second generation, you are the internet there because there are no heavy videos and pictures that can be downloaded from the internet for uses. Normally, in those times, you will find out that most of the information that are passing through is just a text information. So it can consume a signal or a bandwidth. So now when this issue of pictures and other videos are coming up, so the network technology started to be improving, adding some things, upgrading the technology to capture the new trend. You know, network technology are different with these software people and other companies. Now, the software companies may now, in their own development, they can, before at the beginning, there are no much pictures or some things that may attract heavy bandwidth or signals at their system. So now, as the technology grows up, the network, the software development companies have now improving by creating a voice message, pictures, videos on internet and other things. Now it is a challenge for the network technology company to provide something that will accommodate those new technologies provided by the software companies. And that is why the network technology improved from second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and we are now moving to fifth generation. So if you look at when we are in the fourth generation, even now, it's just a few companies that are on this 5th generation. Most of the people are on this 4th generation. But 4th generation, if you look at it, it can accommodate videos online, it can accommodate texts online, pictures online, and other things that may attract heavy signal can be accommodated online. So also this 5G. So under my example, I say downloading a full-length movie in a second instead of a minute on a 5G enabled smartphone. You look at the new technology now. You know, even in your ordinary system, in your ordinary computer system at home, if you have heavy pictures or heavy design in your system, whenever you attempt to save or retrieve those information from your system, you will experience a delay. Maybe because your RAM on that system is not, maybe it's a lower version, or your processor there is also a lower version. So therefore, maybe this additional technology, these additional things that you have added to your system cannot be downloaded because your RAM or your processor is of lower version, doesn't have enough speed that will allow speed and performance that will allow you to quickly within nanosecond get fetch what you wanted to fetch. But with this 4G technology and your system with either 16 gigabit of RAM, 32 gigabit of RAM, 64 gigabit of RAM, you will just see it as if close and opening your eyes, your movie has been downloaded automatically within a very short period of time. So that is the essence of this 5G technology. So the issue of computer system or this internet technology is to pass information very faster. So an issue of internet or any other things online is an issue of speed. So if there is no speed, there is a problem on those technology. So now for the software company to be able to push their product online, they need to have a faster internet services that will allow them to push those information within a very short period of time. And that is the issue of the coming of 5G technology. Normally, in a system, an information has to be sent or downloaded within a nanosecond. Unless if that is a huge megabit or gigabit of information. No matter how big or is, 5G can be able, as a matter of speed, get that information within a very short period of time. They now have blockchain technology, a secure decentralized ledger for transaction and data integrity. The essence of a blockchain technology is to have a decentralized system or ledger in your own portal or in your own organization. Let me give you an example. If you look at the university portal, if you look at the banks and other organizations that are using that have their own website or portal, most of those portals have a centralized system. They are centralized systems because they have a central admin that is controlling those portals or website. Is the one to add and is the one to remove or edit. That is an issue of a centralized system. There must be a central person that has been adding, removing, editing, and so on the portal. So thereby giving a loophole for somebody that is a criminal super admin or central administrator can be able to manipulate organizational data and do some other things there. Maybe an issue of a bank, he may remove something from someone's account, put it somewhere, or from the result portal, you can add result to someone or delete result, remove result to someone. All these things can happen as a result of what? A centralized system. And almost 70% or 80% of what we are using now in Nigeria and other countries are a centralized system. So doing that, there is a loophole there because so many things can happen within this. And once if the hacker can be able to hack a central admin, then your portal or your website can be tampered with at any time. So now, as a result of that, then other group of developers now decided to brought what is called a blockchain, a secure decentralized ledger for transaction and data integrity. So let me give you an example now. If you are doing a business using a blockchain technology, maybe that software that you are, that organizational website or software for doing business is a decentralized, a blockchain software. Assuming that we are 5 in numbers. For example, we open a software for a transaction. I can buy from you, you can buy from me. So the system now will now do what is called a block, will create a block. Each transaction we did between me and you or any other member of that software or platform will create, the system will create a block for that business. So now that block will be changing. I did my business with you today, 1 block. Somebody again do business with me again, 2 blocks. Another person within the platform do another business again, 4 blocks. And those blocks will now be chained together. If they chain together, then now if I make a transaction, a copy of that transaction will go to me and it will also go to you because it's a chain transaction. All the blocks are chained together. So every member of that group will have a copy of that transaction. So that whenever a hacker hack my own site, the other members of the group will have the original transaction there with them. Because it is only me that I was hacked. So therefore, it will affect me, but the transaction will remain there with the other members of the group. So, or if you attempt to change any of my password there immediately when you do, or any of my information there, immediately when you push it, the system will now check that information which a hacker sent via my own login. It will now compare it with the copy of previous transaction that each and every member of that group has. Is it the same with what this guy was sending now? If it is not, the system will now discard it. That is not the same. Because a single transaction, if I do a single transaction, every member of that organization must get a copy of the transaction, seal and stamp. So any attempt to tamper with that transaction will be discarded because the system will automatically compare this new transaction with those transactions shared to the other members. If it is the same, then the system will accept. But if it is not the same, the system will now discard. Unlike in a centralized administration where a single person will now come and change my, if I send 10,000, he may go and add zero, see, I sent 100,000. He will later now get his 90,000 and send the original 10,000 I sent. But if it is in a blockchain system, if I send 10,000, that 1,000, a copy of that my transaction, which is 10,000, will automatically be distributed to all members of that system. They will have a copy. Assuming, let me give you an example. Now, a bank has the manager, has the accountant, has the customer care and the rest. Maybe these are the members of the group. We as a customers also are the members of that group. So if I now make a transaction, I want to send 10,000 to my customer, to my friend. So when I send that 10,000 to my friend, a copy of that my transaction for 10,000 will now be distributed to manager, accountant, me, and the customer care. Now, so if the manager attempt to tamper my transaction by changing that 10,000 which I have sent to my friend to 100,000 by adding 10 maybe to make it 100,000. Immediately click on sending it, the system will automatically went around to check, is it the same with that copy of transaction which I have sent to my friend? If it is not, the system will now discard it. It will not recognize it, and that is all. So, but if it is a central database and you have the privilege to add, edit, and change, so you as a person, I sent a 10,000 to my friend, you may add it that I sent 100,000. Taking the 10,000 to my friend and then remove the 90,000 for your personal gain. But if it is a blockchain technology, no. Once if I did a transaction and I click send, no interruption. Nobody will interrupt it. And immediately if I click on send, the system will automatically distribute the transaction to each and every member. Those who were added as a member of that blockchain will get the copy of that transaction. And therefore, if you attempt to tamper anything from it, it will now broadcast it to other people and to other members, and the member will now, the system will automatically compare it with the copies that has been sent to the members. Is it the same? If not, the system will now reject. That's how the blockchain technology is used to be. And it can work in land business, land transaction. Now you purchase a line, you went and do change of course, change of ownership, this and that on the platform using a blockchain technology. Now, when you pay for your certificate of occupancy, now sent, a copy of that payment will now be distributed to the members that were added as a chain on that system. Maybe governor is there because it's the one issued the certificate of CFO, certificate of occupancy. Then commissioner will be there as a land, the commissioner of land, maybe he will be there. Then directors of land will be there. Maybe if you are a director of either NAGIS or AGIS or any other directors will now be added as a member. So now when I enter into the system, maybe they are using blockchains, or all those members were added. So now me as a customer, when I came for the transaction, I will now pay for my certificate of occupancy. How much is 50,000? So I will now pay the 50,000. Immediately when I pay the 50,000, a copy of that transaction will now be distributed up to the governor. He will have a copy of my transaction. So if later they say I didn't pay, or maybe they subtracted or they added it in order to remove it somewhere, the system will not allow, because the system will not take any edited thing they did and compare it with the copy that has been distributed to the other partners. Is it the same? Is not. If it is not the same, that's all. And that is how the system used to work. So it's a very good system using blockchain technology. We also have a quantum computing. Quantum computing is an advanced computing for solving complex problems much faster. Although still in development, quantum computing will quickly solve problems like breaking complex code and other mathematical issues. Because yeah, this one is not up to now they are on it, and it's not well. There is no full detail on it yet. Then we also have augmented reality, virtual reality, and extended reality, enhancing experience and data visualization through a massive environment. Normally, in an organization, you know, there is what we call simulation, immersive, and this thing. You can use AR, that is augmented reality, to see how a piece of furniture would like in your living room through a smartphone app. What people are doing is that in a virtual reality, It's just something that was created by cameras and other things. When you are watching a video, you will see that they will show you a country or one state that has been destroyed completely. And you will imagine how this state or this local government has been destroyed completely like this. Why? This thing is as a result of this virtual reality. To create a virtual world that will look exactly like the real world. So there is a cameras and other devices that were used to create that virtual or augmented reality. So when you created that virtual reality, you can now see yourself in a very big bungalow with a very big, strong design and a very big, huge design, and big securities are guarding you. All this thing is just a virtual, it's not a reality. So most of the chip makers now are using this technology to create a virtual reality for their own business. So it's just mimicking, copying from the real life and make it a virtual. So it will look like the real life, but it's just a virtual reality. You can decorate, you can try to bring them. For those that are watching, they will see it as if it is a reality, but it's not. It's just a virtual that has been created. For you to be able to do that, you have to get some of the devices that will aid you in trying to make this virtual reality. Now we are on the number 10. Our number 10 is information security and ethical issues. You know, the essence of information security is confidentiality, integrity, reliability. So that is information security. So now, looking at them one by one, we have the confidentiality. Ensure that information is accessible only to authorized users. Giving an example that a bank uses customer PIN to ensure only account holder can access their funds. That is the confidentiality. If you are sending information, that information must not be seen by any unauthorized person on the transit until that information reached its final destination. So now when you are sending information over the internet, there must be this confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which is called CIA. In CIA, you must have that information must have this CIA stamp, that the information must not be tampered on the transit, and the information must not be exposed to anybody on the transit. If you are sending it, then let it be confident to the owner of the information. So sometimes, because of our recklessness, or maybe we didn't protect our internet, either in an organizational internet or a campus internet. So maybe a hacker can be able to have access to the internet of an organization, and maybe there are no security measures put in place to protect any attempt on trying to expose a confidentiality of an information. There are so many security apparatus that a network administrator of that organization supposed to put in place to make sure that the system are protected. Now, like for example, you can use a virtual district, the VPN, virtual private network. In devices like a router, MikroTik, they have a feature on that devices that is virtual private network. So what you should do when we talk of virtual private network, by explanation is that it's just like a pipe of water. You know, when you send water from your pump to follow pipe, that water will remain protected till it reaches where it's supposed to go before that water will be exposed. You are sending water to the tap from your pump. You put a pipe right from the pump, and you put the end of the pipe, you put it inside your tank. And now you open your pump here. So the water will now be following that pipe directly to the tank. And it can only be exposed when it reaches to that tank. So also this has what is called virtual private network, like a tunnel, that your information will pass through the tunnel. Therefore, nobody can be able to hijack the information on transit until that information reached its final destination. So that is what you are supposed to do in order to protect the confidentiality of an information in your organization. Now, MIS are there. They are the one in charge of university portal or organizational portal network, administrative network of that organization. Now, for you to be able, when you are trying to disseminate information within that organization, it is you that you're supposed to think of try to protect that information based on the CIA things. So now, when you enable that virtual private network, it will protect your information from hijacking when on transit until it reaches to its final destination. Even your phone has a virtual private network. You can be able enable it when you are using you are using internet from public internet. Normally, the reason why many hackers are getting advantage of hacking other people's information is that when you make the service public, so the hackers can enter there and try to escalate some of the privileges and make something different. Then we have what is called integrity, protecting information from unauthorized changes. You know, sometimes we have we have a hacker called man in the middle attack. Man in the middle attack. Man in the middle attack, what he used to do is that he will try to block information on transit. When he blocks that information on transit, he will now open the information, modify the information, and now receive it and allow it to pass. So now the information was tempered on transit. Maybe it is from the same organization. He knows that maybe he's a criminal and he wants to be making some changes or doing some criminal activities in that organization. So you know that he has an access with the internet, as you also has an access, because you are all both a staff of that organization, working on that organization. So the guy can now say, if he has a bad intention on his mind, he can now do what is called man in the middle attack. He knows that an information, you will now put a software in between the transaction. That software, man in the middle attack software, will not be on his system because he has an internet connection. So now he will now target the switch of that organization. He knows that information will now come from the sender, pass through the switch, then to the receiver. So you will now, and you know that all of you were connected to that switch. So now it is the switch that will determine where this file is supposed to go. So the guy now will now go to there and put the software. Now the software will now hijack the information. Maybe the information is coming from the manager instructing an important issues to his subordinate. Now maybe the guy want to create a problem with that manager's subordinate. You now intercept the information, change the content of that information, then save it and push it again. So now the information was tempered on transit. Therefore, there is a lack of integrity on that information. Then I gave an example. A company uses a checksum to ensure files sent via email having been altered in transit. So these are some of the security measures to be taken. There are so many software that will allow you to do that on the net. There are some vulnerability assessment software and other things that will help you in terms of try to block all these kind of threats. So now we talk about availability. Ensuring authorized users have access to information when needed. Then I gave an example. I say a school's online portal has backup server to ensure students can access grades even during maintenance. So now, once if we say availability, don't tell me that today the portal is down, nothing can happen. Normally, if this thing is happening, you can't get information from the internet. That is why any hosting company has a backup. And this backup the system can automatically switch to the backup if there is a problem with the main server. The system will automatically move to the next server to continue with the serving people. But if you can have a system whereby if the system is down, then nothing can be done. There is no availability because I need to have my information anytime I want. That is the availability. If I go to my portal, I want to check my result. Let me have my result. I don't want to see that to tell me that this is down, this is up. No. So I must have to get my result. So in most big organization, that is why if you look at the downtime of a portal, a big organization like Google Cloud, this Amazon and the rest, it's hardly they will tell you the downtime of their system maybe in a year is 2 hours or 3 hours. It's not up to even 5 hours. The downtime completely for their system in 1 year. And there are even organizations that is only one hour. Their downtime for the complete 1 year is 1 hour. So it can happen just to make information available to the customer. Now we have the authentication. Verifying the identity of the user before granting access. And that is why for your portal, you have to create your username and password. So now when you have that, your username and password to log into your portal, anytime you come, you have to supply those username and password to the system. So by supplying them, the system will now quickly verify those what you have supplied. Is it true or false? If it is true, the system will now allow you to, will now grant you access to continue. But if it is not true, the system will now block it. And there is also that at times where maybe you have your username and password. When you are trying to sign up, the system will now ask you to supply your email address or your phone number. So anytime maybe the system is using two-factor or multi-factor authentication. So now, anytime you come, if you are using single-factor authentication, once if you come and put your username and password, the system will authenticate. Is it this username and password correct for this guy? If it is correct, the system will allow you. But in some organizations, they have to use multi-factor or two-factor authentication. That means apart from that, apart from username and password, they will send an OTP for you. Or they will ask you to put your hand for biometric authentication. So now, if you are using two-factor or multi-factor authentication, the issue is that for the system to verify that is it you, the owner of this login that you're supposed to log in. Now, you can supply your username and password. The system will now send information, a code, OTP to your phone. Then you now copy the OTP and put it there to verify that it is you that are trying to log into this portal. You know, sometimes in a university and other sensitive organization, you must not be using single factor authentication. It must be multiple factor authentication, so that anytime if somebody steals your username and password, when they are to log in, the system will send an OTP to you, not to him. So you are the one that will going to receive the OTP. And the guy who tried to intrude that system cannot be able to do so because he don't have the OTP to open the system, to verify himself and open the system. So an example, I say logging into your email requires a password to confirm your identity. Password is a authentication. But when you are using a single factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, we have the biometric, we have the OTP, we have the face recognition and other things, just to make verification very hard for a hacker to be able to hack or intrude that your information on the internet. Then we have the authorization, granting user permission to access certain resources. Normally, you have what is called role in a portal. Then you as an AMS, you have the staff there have different roles. Maybe the director there will have the super admin role, that he has role for everything on that system. But you, the other staffs, will be given a specific role on the portal. So now, you can, as an example, an employee has access to their department file, but not to the Human Resources Department confidential file. You know, his access, his role is to open a departmental file, look, do what he wants to do or what he was asked to do, and that is all. You don't have access to the other department or other unit, unless if the guy is a criminal, he can be able to escalate that his privilege by using additional hacking software to allow him have additional access to be able to access human resources apart from the departmental file that he has access to. So this can happen, and therefore you as an AMIS, you have to be very careful, and that is why the system has what is called audit trail. There you can have the trail, the activities of every staff there on the portal. If he escalated that privilege, you can see what he has escalated to. But if it is someone who still his username and password one, and then when I get access to the portal, then escalate the privilege to another department, you see, it's another problem. So there is therefore a carelessness from the staff can make his username and password free to someone, or he can even giving him the password to do something. From there the guy escalate the privilege and other things different. But for you as an MIS, the Oga can be able to detect who do that, who do this at the audit trail. Therefore, you can be able to take measure and make sure that that thing doesn't happen again. We also have encryption. In our last class, I gave an example of encryption, converting data into a coded form to prevent unauthorized uses. That is why that time I gave you an example of manual process. Now it is the computer that is just to click on the feature of the encryption feature. Then it will now allow you to encrypt your data. But manually, I said, if I want to send my name to somebody as an information, my name is Musa, and manually, I don't want somebody to read what is there as Musa. So I will not create a code for that name. Then I will find a way and set that code to that man, so that if I coded the number, let's say I say, okay, I'm going to use Musa. So I will not say, now I will code Musa with numbers. I say 3 start for M, 7 start for U, 10 start for S, and 14 start for. Now, that's my code. So I will find a way and send that code to the recipient, so that whenever you collect the data, you will just use the code. Okay, 3 means A. You will now write A. U means 3 means M. You will write M. Then U means 7. You will write U. Then S means 10 means S. You will now write S. 14 means A. You will now write E. So now, when he decoded it, you will now have what is called Musa. That is encryption, converting data into a coded form to prevent unauthorized access. But as time goes on, now it is a system that used to do that. You will pay for it, and the system will automatically do it for you. So, and I gave an example that day that if you look at our university portal, you will see HTTPS. That S stands for socket secure layer. So that S stands for encryption. That means it's telling you that whatever you send via that portal is encrypted. Nobody can be able to read it on transit until it reaches to the final destination. So I gave an example here. I say online shopping site use HTTPS to encrypt your credit card information during payment. Now we are going to the risk management and control mechanisms. Risk identification, identifying potential security threat and vulnerabilities in your system. You know, there are some vulnerability softwares or vulnerability assessment softwares that you as a management MIS, you need to have that software on your system. So the system will now be looking at the threats that are coming to your portal or the loopholes there on your portal. Are you updating the system against any vulnerability? Yes, you have to look at it. You have to be assessing. There are so many software for assessment. Maybe by 1 month, 2 months, you do an assessment to ensure that there is no threat on that your system. They're recognizing that outdated software may be susceptible to hacking. Normally, that is why you're supposed to be updating your software to patch all the vulnerabilities that are there in the system. So, in the first place, you have to be using a licensed software on your system to allow you the updating the software against these kind of vulnerabilities. And for assessment, there are some softwares, vulnerability assessment software that will allow you to be checking threat and other things. That's why if you go to the Google map, if you want to check for threat map, we have threat map in the Google, where you can be able to check the vulnerabilities, the attacks, the international attacks, how hackers are attacking different countries. You will see it there at the threat map. Just you go to Google, type threat map and click on it. It will now open there. You will see how the attack is coming and how the software for defending the attack, protecting the attack are working. You will see how it is blocking the attack from that software. So also you locally, you have to get some of these vulnerability assessment software to allow you to blocking some of the threats that are coming to the system. And they should be very careful by updating your software to avoid any vulnerability, so that by updating all the patches, all the loopholes that are there for that will allow a hacker to get into the system will be blocked by updating the system. Risk assessment, evaluating the likelihood and impact of identified risk. This vulnerability assessment software can do it for you. You know, you can do all these assessment and or evaluating the impact of these risks that you have identified on the system. It will evaluate and it will show you, is it high, low, or so that if it is high, you now take the measure. Even if it is low, then you look at can improve the volume of protecting your system. So I say determining how a virus attack will affect daily operation and customers' trust. So this assessment software are there. You can buy it and be using it in managing your organization. And the risk mitigation. Implement measures to reduce the impact of risk. Installing antivirus software to protect against malware. We also anti-malware, antivirus. We have anti-malware and this WannaCry attack and all other prevention that you're supposed to make. So now, to mitigate the risks of your system, you have to be very careful. Make sure that you have all the necessary tools that are supposed to be installed in your system to be assessing or evaluating the risks that are coming into your system. Then we have preventive control, designed to prevent security incidents from occurring, requiring strong password for all users' accounts to prevent unauthorized users. That preventive control in terms of password is that, you have to mix numbers. Sometimes somebody will be using his file number, or you will be using his matric number for a user, for a password, which is very, very wrong. At least you have to make a combination of numbers, symbols, capital letters, and small letters to make it a very strong password against the intruder. Because most of the hackers, they are just guessing. used to guess. So if you are using simple numbers, by guessing, sometimes there is a software that you can use it to guess, to create a guess number for you that you can try it in to get access into people's account and do something there. Detective control, designed to detect an alert of security incidents. You know, when you have a portal, if you have a sensitive place that you don't want people to be touching it, you can attach an alert on it, so that if anybody attempts to reach that, alert will now be, or a siren or something, a beeping will now be coming out that will attract security to come and check on this. You can use it. You can put it on your portal. You can put it on your website, and even the bank, they are using it. Sometimes if you go and put something on the ATM machine, or they have a target, they will now, if somebody reported to them that his bank account was hacked, they can be able to put an alarm on that account, so that whoever went to the ATM for withdrawing money, immediately when you put that card, the system will now start alerting the security that there is a criminal there, that they should come and take him up. So this thing can happen. You can put it on your portal, so that whoever touch a sensitive place that you don't want people to touch, the system will now alert you that somebody is touching this, touching that. Then you can now take a major hit. Corrective control, designed to minimize the impact of a security incident or coup. Having a data recovery plan to restore lost file after a ransomware attack. Now, you know, I mentioned that I have once been a victim of ransomware attack, but thank God that time I was saving my information at this thing, at Dropbox. So they hacked my system, and I cannot be able to open any file on that system. Then they now sent me a ransomware template that I should pay this on cryptocurrency. I said, no. Then I remember that my lecturer was telling me that anytime these people hacked me, I should not pay anything. Just try to, if they didn't open, just format the system. Make sure whatever you are doing, get a backup, so that you should not be having or going back to square one. So when they hacked my system with this ransomware attack, I was able to restore my file from the Dropbox. Very, very important. So now ransomware attack will not allow you to open any file in your system until when you pay money. Sometimes you will even pay and they will not open it full. They will be threatening you, like this kidnappers. Sometimes they are that stupid kidnappers. They will now kidnap somebody. They will ask for a ransom. They will pay, and they will kill that man again. So also in this our interest, something they will ask you for a ransomware payment. You make the payment, and they will keep on holding those papers. So be careful on this, and don't be using outdated software. I mentioned that Microsoft Office, Windows 7, Windows 8, they are not now. They become a legacy software. So the Microsoft company are not giving protection for those operating system, Windows 7, Windows 8. So be careful with that. Try to be on Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 12, and so on, so that you can have access on updating your system at regular time. Regular security audit, assessing the effectiveness of security policy and control. Conducting a monthly review to ensure all software is up to date with security patches. You know, sometimes it's good for you in an organization to have a team that are responsible for security audit. If not, if you allow everybody to be, every staff to be doing update at this, you will have a problem. At least set a time in an organization that the 30th of every month or the last week of every month is for security audit. And that team will now be going around to ensure that the software is up to date. And if there is any other patches, they will ask you to update so that the software will be protected against these hackers and any other intruder that is trying to intrude into your system. Then user training, educating users about security practice and threat. Very, very good in an organization to create awareness on this threat and vulnerabilities. You know, if you are given training on this issue, maybe the people may be very conversant on all these things. But if you just leave them like that, that's where the problem. You have to be giving them a lecture on how this thing can be, how they will protect their system from unauthorized users, from teaching employees how to recognize phishing email to prevent them from opening malicious links. And that is why I gave you an example. There is an NYS, for example, in your organization. And you in the other department, maybe a hacker will now send a message saying that the MIS has a problem with the portal, therefore you cannot be able, you can't get the page now. But when they are on it, try to send your username and password on this link, or click on this link to take you to where you are going to rectify the issue. By clicking on that link, a malicious software will now can be installed on your system, and that will now allow them, to use your system to make any other thing. And don't forget, they can use your system to do something in other people's system, and that people will now hold you responsible for what the hackers have done to them. So you have to be very careful. If you allow your system to be used, that's why in some cases, like Nigerian people, before, I don't know now, but in some cases, you will see that if this thing happened with a very big organization, this international organization, if they saw somebody from Nigeria, sometimes they used to discard it because they know that he was just a victim of recklessness or unawareness. Because the hacker will now hack your system and he will use that system to commit a crime. And your everything will appear there that you are the one who committed it. So if they look at it and look at the way, if you look at where you come from, sometimes they used to discard that thing. You know that you are not the one. It's just that you look at the sensitivity of that threat you did to their system. So now we also have ethical issue in information system. We talk about the privacy, the right of individual to control how their personal information is collected and used. The social media app asks for permission before accessing your location to provide nearby friend suggestion. They used to do that. If you look at it like Google, or sometimes if you want to access any new social media or any new software, they will ask you, do you allow people close to you to be able to have access, or can they be, do you allow them to access your location, all this and that? They used to ask. So if you allow them, then you now click on it, you have allowed them. It will tell you everything. It's a privacy. If you don't want people to access your location, even if you are using Google or if you are using Facebook, WhatsApp, this and that, you can say no, you don't want them to access. It's your privacy. You don't want them to access where you are. You will not do it. The intellectual property, protecting creating of demand like software and digital content, using licensed software rather than downloading pirated version from the internet. That's what I were after for. You know that you don't want to spend your money, or you don't want to ask your organization to give you money and buy the original software. You go ahead from the internet and download a software. Most of the software that are coming from the internet, they were attached with a malicious software. So in an attempt to install that software, the malicious software will automatically install a step in your system. And therefore, you are using their software and they are using your system for other things. Do criminal activities with your system, do everything on your system. So you have to be very careful, make sure that most of the operating software, you should not be using them. Try to use the licensed software against this kind of criminal people. Then digital right management, controlling the use of digital content, even unauthorized copying. That's criminalizing service using DRM to prevent user from downloading and sharing movies illegally. Digital right management, there is a software on it that will not allow people, if you have your own software or you have your own movie, I don't want people to be taking it illegally and selling it for people, downloading this and that. You can be able to protect it from unauthorized people. Or you don't allow them to even download anything that has to do with that software unless to watch or view it, and that is all. This can happen on you can do that on your system. Then we'll talk about accuracy and reliability, ensuring information is correct and dependable. I gave an example of a news website verify fact before publishing article to ensure accurate report. It's not that because we are using online platform for businesses, they will just be concocting lies in order to attract people's attention and get customers for any other thing. You have to verify, you have to be very careful that the information is accurate and reliable, so that before you publish that article into the website, to avoid creating lies against people. And is even rampant now. The last is the template is access and equity. Ensure fair access to information and technology for everyone. An example, I say providing subtitle and screen reader support on a website to ensure it is accessible to virtually impaired users. There is also a code of ethics, a set of guidelines outlining responsible behavior regarding the use of information and technology. IT professionals follow a code that prohibits sharing confidential customer without consent. All these things has to be happening. You can't just be taking people's information and share it anyhow you want because you are an MIS staff. Whatever you want to take it from a customer, you must get a consent from him whether if you are allowed to share his information to someone or not. Organization must have that code of ethics for your customers to avoid a problem. Transparency, being an open about data collection practice and use. Say mobile app provide a clearly privacy policy explaining what data is collected and why. Then we have the compliance with the law and regulation, following legal requirements for handling and protecting information. So all these things, at the end, you see that in an organization, you must have to get this kind of code of ethics, transparency, compliance with law and regulation of the land against sharing people's information or of that organization. There must be that codes and ethics on that organization. You can't just be, because you are just an MIS staff, then you can be able to do whatever you like with people's information, which is very, very unacceptable for the users. So I think that is the end of this, my template from 1 to 11. And I hope maybe you have enjoyed the lecture. If there is any question, let me get it from you. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
We are here, sir.
I am hearing you.
We can hear you, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
We are here, sir.
I'm hearing you.
Can I ask a question, sir?
We're hearing you.
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to ask. You have a phone that is stolen,
Yes.
and you keep ringing calling the number. The phone is ringing. How do you track such a phone?
Normally, there is tracking software
Exactly, sir.
that you can use. But mind you, for you to be able to do that, most of the tracking software, I have tried most of them. They are not good now. You can't get the original one that you can use this unless if you have a connection with these security people. But all those software tracking software for the internet, I tried them, but they are not working fine on it. The system has a IMF number. That number, or I can say the media number of your phone. That once if your phone is stolen, and that's the number that the security may need from you. Because even if the phone is switched off, even if it is not ringing, that software because of that number, that your phone can be detected and you can be able to get the location of that system. Now, if you can get the original software, what you will do is that it's just a simple thing. Once you have to go to the Google Map. Go to Google Map. When you go to the Google Map, sometime there is a longitude and latitude of the area that you are in. Then you can use a software again to generate the longitude and latitude of your area. Then when you get that longitude and latitude of the area, there is a place in your Google Map where you can just go and put longitude and latitude of that area. Then you now be dragging, it will take you to where the phone number is ringing. But the problem is that you can't get that software now, because I have tried one, but that one is not even, it's not complete. Then I asked, they said that I didn't pay for the license, but I tried to do so, but the thing didn't work. But for you to be able to track anything, you need to have that software installed on that phone. When you have it, you can use phones, you can use to track for other people. But if it is yours, you know that you just keep that your media number of your phone to be used by someone to track other people's system. You can do it. I track one phone from to almost 4 houses using our tracking software in the system. That's why I say the tracking software has a problem. When we call the phone is ringing. The software takes us to one house. We discover that we charge the house, the phone is not there. When we come out, the software again takes us to another house. We went there, it showed us one room, we enter, the phone is not there. It takes us to another house. It's like it didn't. And that software that we purchased for that issue, and it didn't work, tracking software.
Serious.
And at the end of the day, we went and met civil defense. I said, to this tracking software we purchased, we have been trying it, and they didn't give us a wrong location. We have tried software. So from there, they say, okay, we should give them this thing, and they try it. I don't think if they have the original one, but the problem is that they are not. If you go there, they are not serious on doing it. But for you now, you can have the software, but the software will be misbehaving, taking you to different locations. At the end of the day, you're just tired and leave everything to God.
That is very serious, sir.
Well, that is very serious. We have the software, we try it, or like take us. Even, at the end, we feel ashamed because the last house we went there, The system was still ringing. We are there. We check everyone, carry their mattress, everything, and nothing is there.
Serious.
It's very serious.
Doctor, mine is an observation.
Eh?
I said mine is an observation, sir.
Okay.
I noticed all through the lecture
Hey.
that we have for each of the steps there are pluses and minuses,
Yes.
advantages and disadvantages.
Yes.
Then there's something that actually, when you came to the aspect of AI,
Hey.
there's an international concern actually that if care is not taken, AI is also going to create a much bigger problem for all of us.
It's going to do what?
Something happened. AI, artificial intelligence, the mimicking of the human brain.
Yes.
I said there's something that happened that was recorded internationally in Japan.
Yeah.
You know, on WhatsApp these days, you can send voice notes.
Yes.
Now, a boss in a corporate organization sent a voice note to his accountant or finance officer.
Yes.
And to make a certain transaction.
Yes.
It turned out that that voice note was cloned. And then it was not really the boss's voice in reality, but his voice was cloned using AI and sounded as if it was a direct approval for him to transfer. And the man transferred thousands of dollars into another account.
Yes.
So it is actually becoming, very worrisome. But I'm happy that people at the international level are also beginning to discuss about it.
Yes.
Now,
You know that the problem is that the AI now, you can't, for you to be able to clone it, there must be an element of network communication with that AI, and that is where they have access. The hacker, maybe any other person, may have access to intrude to use that AI, that robot, and clone this thing. But normally, when you are using a local robot, maybe that is not connected to, like a robot that will be taking tea and give it to your customer, that will be carrying this or that doesn't have any internet connectivity. It's hard for you to clone that kind of a system like that. But anything that has to, the international people, in whatever they are doing is that their things are connected to the internet. That's why they are calling it Internet of Things. So that is where the hackers or any other people that has dubious this thing comes in. Because you can't just get to anything without being where something is being transmitted from one place to another. So you now go to that road like a robot, they have to go to the road and block the road before you can be able to do something. But if you are doing this thing within your organization, nothing is connected to the internet or it. It's just that you use a boat that will allow the robot to be taking things from here to here, from here to there. It's hardly for that one to be cloned. But the one that they are using in Nova, it has to do with the internet, and that is where this kind of activities come in. Because hackers are looking for a way. They don't want to come to a place and do their work now. So they must have to get a road where they can follow in order to get what they were doing. But for them, for them, it's unlike us now. They will try to do their best in order to tackle all those things. Because we, an African, that is where the thing will be more dangerous to us than the other people. If this thing comes now to Nigeria, that is where the problem will be getting. And the Nigeria are ready to take this thing seriously.
And I understand they're even going a step further. Some people are now moving from artificial intelligence. They are gradually beginning to develop emotional intelligence.
That's the logic that even that one, if you can be able to bring something that will allow, that will make some, if you can create something that will give a room for an information to be transferred from one place to another. Maybe you are controlling that with a remote, you are controlling this with that. Through there, malicious people can be able to penetrate and do something. So the only thing is that, like in Nigerian security now or any other security, if you are trying to block the armed robbers, they are trying to devise another way to do something.
Somebody said that if you build a 10-foot wall, they will come with a 15-foot ladder.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, sir.
Hello. So are we to close for today, ba?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
All right, happy weekend, sir.
I hope
Have a nice weekend,
we are going to. I hope we are going to have the notice now.
Before you go,
I hope we are going to have the notice.
Someone's hand is up. Taiwo Nelson has a question, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir, for the fruitful lecture, sir. We really appreciate you. My own is not a question, per se. Sir. This lecture, can we have a handout, please? The soft copy.
No problem. No problem. I'll try to gather all of them, make it a soft copy and send it to you.
Exactly.
In a normal note, ba? In a normal note, and send it to you. Not on this PowerPoint format.
Okay.
I'll do that. Let's when we finish, I will now gather everything on a normal note and send it to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hello, sir, Prof. Sorry, I'm taking you back.
Okay.
There's someone there. There's an Igbo guy that did this AI clowning.
AI training.
Hello.
Hey, I'm hearing you.
No, the clowning of artificial intelligent robots.
Hey.
The robot has an Igbo name, Ihogadi or something. And then it can, what it has inside of it, the chips of, it has a chip that had to answer every African questions.
Yes.
Irrespective of where the question is coming from, be it from it can speak different African languages. Yeah.
Yes.
And then when you ask him things about even African witchcrafty and so on, juju and all that, it answers. So I was like of the opinion that if we can improve our own country and improve a lot of things, if we get to know how this night people does their magic.
Yes.
Juju wise.
Yes.
We can as well use those things to better our country. Now, instead of using to attract evil, bad things and all that, they can kind of modify it. And if they speak to those people, if those wishes and witchcraft gather together and put their head together, they can do better things than just using it for evil.
Of course. Giving you an example again, he has done a very good job. And you see, that's why if you want to see other things that will attract you, this TBC News, they used to do one program on Monday 10 o'clock on AI and robotic. So there you will see the talent of our people, our Nigerian people. Different people are there, they will display their talent there on this robotic. They used to do the program 10 o'clock Monday on TBC News. I used to watch the program before. So you see, TBC News.
This particular robot was launched 4 nights ago. And it
Yes.
really was answering every African questions and speaking dialects. And I was like, this is a very good one.
Of course, because there is a natural language features that he has added on it. That will allow the system to get every language, that will allow the robot to speak and be able to understand every language, African language. So it's there, the robot has, apart from the AI, there is the robot itself, then there is natural language, there is machine learning. All these aspects that I am calling it for you now, they were added to the robot so that the robot can function very well. So on that, there is an aspect of natural language that can be used. He has done a very good research that if he can be able to display it on this program that they used to on this national robotic INCA, national artificial intelligence and robotics. I think they will really appreciate that, and that of the this thing, Innovate 8. Those people that are around that after when you pass this national stadium and going to the airport, there is one innovative center there. They call it Innovate 8, and I'm sure if they heard about him, they will quickly come and pick him there.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's it was the place originally, but there is one Israelite that is managing the place. The place, we went there, we visited there more than 2 times from university, trying to collaborate with them on this robotic aspects. They are very good there. And I'm sure, because what they were doing there is say, bring your innovation, will not assist it to develop it. If you have any idea, bring your idea. We will now assist you to develop that idea and even sell it for you.
It's okay, but Nigeria doesn't have cloud yet to go into all those things, unlike South Africa and co.
Yes, but that place, if you go there, you will see like if it is Imagino, Magico, that place where I'm talking to you now, that Innovate 8. You will be surprised to think that this place is in Nigeria. You will be surprised when you go there.
Okay.
When you go there, almost every day people from various places are visiting there, trying to collaborate with them to improve their technology on their either from universities or any other organization. Very, very, very important place. Thank you.
Where is that, sir?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well,
You said it is where, sir?
Innovate 8.
So where is
Thank
that?
you, sir. Around
Okay.
Airport Road.
Airport Road.
Okay. So I will see having you tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Welcome.
I think we need to allow you to go and rest so that they can move to another class.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, thank you.
All those who are not supposed to be in this class that are here, you pay me another school fees.